I'm really interested in graphs. Hi, Celeste. People know that, like the graph of how stars evolve. I want to show that again. S-curves are the more interesting graph for this talk. It's a curve where there's very little growth in the beginning, and then it rises up precipitously, and then it levels off at the top with full adoption. And these S-curves, they can be stacked. It isn't just, oh, well, it's just this, and then that's it. It's all over. No. You can have an S-curve right here, an S-curve right here, S-curve right here with various technologies and ideas. Specifically, this theory is S-curve. The beginning where it says, okay, it's still early, but where is attraction? Question mark. This thing is not going anywhere. That's how I felt. That's how I feel currently. Some other people might feel differently. I know, Baz, I know you feel differently. You know it's going somewhere. After so many years of us working on it, I mean, it's like, when's it gonna make the mainstream? You know, it's kind of frustrating. I know Daniel Archer feels the same way. He's like, come on, you guys. But basically, the period of no growth, 2011 to 2020 still. I think it's going to hit about 2021 before it starts really taking off. I think partition was off exactly correct, but I think we're about at the inflection point. I think 2021, when the exoplanet count reaches around 5,000, maybe even 6,000, I think the astronomers are going to wake up and realize that stars are young planets and planets are old stars. And that being said, from 2020, 2021 to 2030 is when the adoption is going to go through the roof. Be prepared for the fireworks, you guys. I've been telling you guys this for a long time. I know it was like, when's it gonna blow up? When's it gonna blow up? When's it gonna blow up? Well, I think it's gonna happen between 2021, 2020, and 2030. That's when it's gonna blow up right there. And then from 2030 to 2040, by the time it hits 2040, I'm 55 years old. I look at these videos and I think, wow, I was really young. Celeste looks at these videos and goes, wow, you look really young. I know I'm going to get a lot more wrinkles on my face. Maybe I might not make as many YouTube videos in the future. Who knows what's going to happen. But okay, maybe it's not hopeless. I think we're finally at that point right now. I think we're at the okay, maybe it's not hopeless point. And the reason why I say that is the last video I kind of tested it out. I wanted to see if people understood that, you know, a planet is a very, very, very old star. The ancient Greeks, they differentiated the same object into two independent objects, and they had made a big mistake. And that video had 12 likes, which is really great, 12 to 0. Hopefully nobody goes to that video and gives it another down like to ruin its perfection, so to speak. But it's really impressive. I mean, sure, a lot of other videos on YouTube get millions of views and hundreds of thousands of likes and what have you. But being for such a very new theory and for being a scientific idea, I think that's quite impressive. That being said, a few lessons I've learned. A good theory is like a new technology. It takes time for adoption. I think it's a myth that people think that, you know, if you have a great idea, you stumble upon it, you just tell somebody, boom, the idea is instantly adopted by the world's renowned physicist, and they go, oh, wow, that's great, you know, and they lift you up and you get prizes and accolades and, you know, you're paraded down the street, you know. It's completely ridiculous. It doesn't happen like that. It takes many years for important discoveries and technologies for full adoption and understanding. And we know this because that's exactly what technologies do. Here are a bunch of S-curves for the telephone, electricity, refrigerators, stoves, radio, clothes washers. All the way to the right, you get cell phones, internet, VCR. I think that went back down again. Microwave, dishwashers, air conditioning. Now, you see, a lot of these technologies started in 1900, and it still took them 80, 90, 100 years for full adoption. And those are technologies that are very useful, It's not like they're they're bad thing. Nobody wants to use them. No, it's gonna do you harm. No, it just takes time. It takes time for things that are really big to change, because so many things, so many parts behind the scenes have to come into mesh with each other. They have to be like gears and come into contact with one another, so things can get moving, get the ball rolling. Of course, I took this thing from an entrepreneurial side. A lot of small businesses that first start up, they get stuff, started. They're down here for a little while until the business starts making money, and then, they get explosive growth if they do really well and they have a good business model or whatnot. But yeah, I just wanted to share that with you guys. That big myth of, if it were important, if it were scientific, then it would just be fully accepted by the academics of the world, and everybody would know about it instantly, and what have you. It just doesn't work like that at all. It's a bit of a reality check for me. I thought it was when I was younger, and I had discovered what the Earth is, and of course other people have discovered it as well, but it's not that simple. It takes a lot of time with terms of adoption of the new ideas, adoption and understanding. And, there's a lot of uncertainty too. There's a lot of people who question what I'm doing. You're uncertain. They say, well, where's the evidence at? They do that whole spiel. And of course there's a lot of uncertainty with it. And, granted, I was uncertain about it too for the first 3 years that I was working on it. But I just plowed through, and here I am today. All right, guys, that sums up today's talk. Just keep in mind that really big, important changes just don't happen overnight. It takes time for them to happen. Of course, the reason why I'm discussing this, I was looking up the whole coronavirus thing and exponential growth, and I was like, wow, I'm going to do a little talk on exponential growth, maybe related to the theory development and what I've been working on. And yep, I guess that's about it. I'm not going to say anything about the virus stuff, except for, to understand exponential growth and how that works. I think it'd be helpful to read up on that. All right, guys, take it easy.